execution in Iran! No to 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 execution in Iran! No!
Please help us say no to the Islamic regime of Iran who still execute people.
On Wednesday morning, they executed Shahla Jahed, a woman who has been sentenced, convicted, based on nothing. The cowardice that the Islamic Republic of Iran is, and that is a brutality as well. We are against the death penalty. And in Iran, people who are sentenced to death are quite likely to not have had any legal assistance, not have had a fair trial, because none of that really exists in Iran under the Islamic. She had been in prison for 9 years. She was accused of murder. But when you speak to the detectives involved in the case, when you speak to her lawyer, they will tell you about the many inconsistencies. And frankly, it's probably quite unlikely that Shahla Jahed had any involvement in this. And saying that it was quite unlikely that Shahla Jahed would receive a fair trial. Because who does in Iran under the Islamic regime of Iran? People don't have access to lawyers. People don't receive fair trials. A trial that you and I understand as a fair judicial process. People are being kept in solitary confinement. People have no access to a lawyer. People are being cut off of their family. And that is just a start. Because then people are being tortured and they're being forced to make a confession. And as Shahla Jahed had said herself, she would have confessed to many more things. And she confessed to that murder just to get out from the torture. And the first day on her trial, she said, no, I didn't do it, I confessed under torture. And of course, Shahla Jahed is not the only one who did this. Sakina Ashtiani is a woman sentenced to death by stoning, who still sits in an Iranian prison, said the same. She, for 2.5 months now, has been cut off from her family, from her lawyer, from the world, as has been her lawyer and her son. And we are saying all of this is just the tip of the iceberg of what is happening in Iran under the Islamic regime of Iran. And we are saying this has to stop, and we are here to ask your solidarity and your support to stop this and give the people of Iran what they want and what they deserve, and that is human rights and freedom. Freedom from a brutal fascist dictatorship that they have endured for the last 31 years. And when you look at the case of Shahla Jahed, of Sakina Ashtiani, of Fazat Kamanga, of Mansour Osanlu, you will see what the brutal dictatorship does in Iran. It's not just people accused of being murderer or murderers. It is trade union activists, women accused of having had sex outside of marriage. It's people who participated in peaceful protests, who are being put in prison, who are being tortured, who are being executed. And it's going on, and it will go on until the people of Iran stop it. And we are here to help them. So we are asking you.
Acceptable in the 21st century. The Iranian government stone women to death. They stone people to death. They publicly hang people to death for things that are not even a crime in this country. Please help us tell them no and tell them to stop this regime by signing our petition. Please come and sign our petition or donate any loose change that you may have towards the campaign. Just on Wednesday, a woman was executed by public hanging for something that is not even a crime in this country. Please help us tell them that this is not acceptable in the 21st century. Please help us in our efforts. The Islamic regime of Iran has been around for the last 30 years, and in that time the amount of public executions is unparalleled. Please help us tell them that this is not acceptable. Please sign our petition. Please donate any loose change that you may have towards the campaign and help yourself to literature. which will explain to you about the horrors of the Islamic regime of Iran. Please remember that these people are being executed for things that are not even a crime in this country. Things like exercising